Hi everyone, today I'm going to take a look at the iFootage slider, and while this isn't completely perfect, it is the best slider that I've used so far, and that's saying something because I've used a lot of sliders. The first thing I noticed when I started using this was just how good it was, just how super smooth it is and how well it works, especially with this flywheel, and how I didn't have to do retakes of almost anything. I was just doing shots and they were basically, most of the time, completely perfect first try, whereas with other sliders, I would normally notice that I'd need to do more retakes. I'd mess up a little more with other sliders, especially ones without a flywheel, but even comparing it to others with a flywheel, this is just exceptionally good. As far as I know, it's the first commercially available slider with a flywheel. There are others now on the market as well, but this was the first as far as I remember. And the actual first that wasn't commercially available, but that was my DIY one, which you can see the video down below. I love this flywheel because all the weight is on the outside of the flywheel, not any weight wasted on the inside. It's very lightweight compared to other ones, and yet works really, really well. Weight in the middle is fine. It doesn't cause any issue, but it means that you're carrying a lot more weight, and that weight in the center isn't much help. The further away the weight is, the more effective it is, which means that this thing is very effective, but still very lightweight. The weight of the system as a whole is fairly lightweight. It's sort of similar to a slider that's just made of metal, but much longer. The extra carbon fiber rails don't add any weight, but this, and these metal pieces do add weight to it. So I think that's something that could be improved here. Most of the time I would be using this without the extensions because they do take a few minutes to add, because you have to, I mean, it's not very long, you don't need any tools. You know, that does take a little longer because this is a separate cable. It comes with two cables, one short one, one long one. Now, regarding this cable, the way that this is built, it's got this little wheel here, and that wheel needs to be smaller or none at all. And so what I've done is I've literally just lifted this up above the wheel, and I've spun it around so that the smooth side is on the inside, so that it can just grip onto that smooth surface of that material there. So what that means is that this spins a lot faster than it would if it was just on the larger wheel here. Because this spins faster, that makes it even more effective. Then you get a much smoother move because this is spinning faster and therefore is more effective. So really, really lovely and smooth and just fantastic to work with, especially with a fluid head where you really want that flywheel to be working at its fullest. Absolutely lovely to work with, but after you do this mod, you can only get to here if you do that. It sort of becomes a little bit too tight when you get to here because it's above where it actually should be sitting. You could actually completely remove that wheel. I don't know of a way to remove it. I tried to remove it just by undoing the screws, but I think they like glued it in place or something. I'm gonna just cut this wheel off. It's lovely, lovely, lovely to work with. Just fantastic, and gives me fantastic footage. So, and by the way, this footage that you're seeing, there's no sort of additional stabilization of any kind added to it. No lens stabilization or editing stabilization or anything like that. The case that it comes with is this. Nice and padded, nice quality, no issues. Everything fits into the case with the wheel, but of course not with the extensions connected. Now the extensions are great because they don't add any weight and they allow you to travel with something that can fit in a suitcase, because this size will fit into a lot of large suitcases. The things that are available for this are still somewhat limited. So there is a motor system, which I will review in another video. It looks a little something like this and really nicely made, comes in a big case like this. So have a look at the link below to see the review about this. Now I haven't heard of anyone else having this issue, but on my unit there is a very, very slight bump when going over the connection between the two rails. Now, I know some of you are going to ask about the copies of this slider, and I can tell you from personal experience that they're not as good. So what I would say is get yourself a genuine one from Pro AV. They are priced like professional sliders, and in my opinion, they're worth every penny. But if that's not within your budget, then there are other options that are suitable for lower budgets, and I'll have links to some alternatives down below. Anywhere from around 30 euros for the tiny rat rig slider, or something like the Canova K2 at around £150. So if you have any questions, of course, feel free to ask me down below. Alright guys, thanks for watching. Visit my channel for lots more awesome filmmaking and photography videos like lighting techniques, DIY projects, behind the scenes tutorials, cameras, lenses, adapters, shoulder rigs, stabilizers, flashes, LEDs, microphones, bags, straps, studio backgrounds, tripods, float heads, sliders, multi-tools, and lots more cool stuff!